Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
And Rossi.
Yeah, lead us in, Curly. Skipper, lead us away, Skipper.
All right. Hey there, it's Curly here, and welcome to episode 189 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. We are doing this episode at a very special time. It's Friday night in Nashville. So
Now, there's
Saturday,
a song title.
Yeah, Friday night in Nashville. It's Saturday morning here in Australia, and all three of the boys on the screen. I'm not sure if Braggy sees a lot of 11 a.m.s, but anyway, he's seeing it today. So
It's still dark, yeah.
Well, to be fair, in Queensland, it is 1963.
yes.
He's up us.
All right.
Queensland, Rossi. I know it's state of origin time, but I just want to know how the Blues shape up this year against, Curly and Braggy's Queenslanders. How you
Talk
feeling?
about research. Yeah. That's fantastic, Alison.
Well, New South Wales are going in as favourites, but they always do, and that has no bearing on the result.
All right.
Hey, Alison, we love it when we got our backs to the wall and everyone thinks we got no chance. That's when we're at our most dangerous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Us Queenslanders, we fight till the end. So
Just before we go any further, Curly, I know it's Friday night in Nashville. Have you been to Nashville, Curly?
Shots are firing.
They're up me because I've never been to Nashville.
Yeah. But it's interesting, right? So all of us Aussies that have been to Nashville are probably thinking Friday night in Nashville is you're down Broadway, you're going bar to bar, you're checking out all the bands, it's live wire, and you sort of lose sight of the fact that there's actually people that live there quite normal lives that we probably live most of the time. And a Friday night means kicking back in the lounge room, far removed from the lights and the sounds of Broadway.
Well, you know what? If I ever want to go to Nashville, all I do is I put on Allison Asarch's "Souvenirs of Love" album, and I'm
Absolutely. So we haven't even introduced Alison yet. So our special guest direct from Nashville, one of our favorite guests. We just love having Alison here. Love chatting with her, and I was lucky enough to actually catch up with her, and have a great chat with her when I was in Nashville in November. But Alison, welcome back to the podcast. And how's Souvenirs of Love been going for you?
Thank you. Yeah, we're about a couple days away from it being out for a month, which is amazing and exciting. And it's just, I'm so happy that it's out there and that everyone has the opportunity to hear all of the songs that I've been sitting on for years, months, all of it. So, as an artist, that's what you want, is people to hear your music. So it's exciting that y'all are able to, and you can listen to it all the time. And luckily Braggy is one of those people, which is so kind. Thanks.
I do. I think you should start with, I think you should give us like an overview of how it all came together and how you recorded it before we get into individual tracks. Because I really like the sound. Sometimes I hear stuff from Nashville and it seems really overproduced, but this one's got a little bit of grittiness to it. A little bit kind of different. I like the feel of it.
Thanks. I do too. I'm really lucky. I nanny and babysit on the side, and a wonderful family that I work with. My producer is the kid's dad, and they have a studio in their backyard, and he's incredible. But I just honestly was like, one day, would you maybe want to work with me on my next album? And he was like, absolutely, let's go. That's a great idea. So Aaron Schaefer-Hayes, he's amazing. And I knew what I like to do is when I know for sure I have 13 songs, that's when I'm going to release a record. So I had more than that, but I knew that it was about that time. It's been a few years since I've really released anything, and it's expensive to release. So it's more like, okay, can I get the funds to do it and everything? And what I've been noticing and what I love about just life in general is I love to learn, and I feel like I grow in every single co-write that I work in, every single song that I am writing. I feel like I learn something new as I'm writing a story, as I'm creating the stories, all of it. And I knew that this album was going to be very different from Texas to Tennessee, because I think that album is more me being like, woohoo, I'm here, Nashville, let's go. This is who I am. Very poppy, very fun. And as I've been growing up, I noticed, I really, really love telling stories, and I love being able to bring stories to life. And I did that, of course, on my first album, but I think I really, really emphasized it with this one. And when we started kind of putting the songs together, it just worked out that these were the songs to choose. And I'm super close with my grandparents, and I've got a lot of songs about them on there. And I'm now married, and so I wanted to kind of sprinkle my love in there, and just kind of, have the music grow with me. And Souvenirs of Love just made sense for the title, even though it is a song, but it just made sense that most of these songs are souvenirs of love from my family, from my friends, from different stories that I'm telling. So that's kind of how it kind of all came together. And I was like, yes, that's what we're doing. Let's do it.
So in that time-honored tradition of autobiographical work.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of songs here where I think you put yourself in the shoes of other people, which is a really good human trait. If only more of us could do that, we'd probably get along a lot better. Yeah.
Thanks.
So should we get what's your favorite track, Alison?
Boy, I have so many favorite tracks. That's hard to say. I mean, if we want to jump into something that I didn't release prior, we could jump into In a Diner. That one that I really am proud of and love. We wanted to do that one.
Yeah, I love that. I love all the words in that right from the start. The vinyl seat becomes a wooden pew. That's a really good line. And so you actually were in a diner around the...
Yeah, so I worked at Pancake Pantry in Nashville for probably, I think, 3.5 years. And it's a tourist trap. So everybody and their mother goes to Pancake Pantry when they visit Nashville. And I loved it. It was the best. But it really is. It's very close to Vanderbilt Hospital. And so the people that would come in were either tourists or people who would go to the hospital. And more often than not, I was getting families that were coming from the hospital, and sometimes it was really sad. And a couple people that really stick out to me is one of my really good friends now, Missy. She's a mom, and her daughter, Erin, she has been sick, but they're from Chattanooga, and they would come in to Nashville to go to Vanderbilt Children's to work on tests and everything. And Missy would come in almost like every day, and she just would keep coming. And so I sat down and was like, what's your story? What's going on? And then she just cried and then kind of vented. And but it was just, really great. And I knew what she was ordering, and I always knew her. I would always bring her tea, or I think that's what she got. But I would just always be ready to roll with whatever she had. And then I had a couple come in. They just gave birth and they lost their child. And I was wearing sunflower earrings, and their grandmother loved sunflowers. And they said, this literally, they wrote me a letter. I still have it. That was like, you were so kind. And your sunflower earrings literally reminded me of my grandmother. And I was just like, okay, why does this keep happening? And then there was another family it was an aunt and two sisters, and their mom passed away. And I was like, what is going on? Why does this keep happening? And so I was like, I need to write about this.
Yeah.
So In a Diner was born, and Andy Renfrey, who, you know, I worked with last album, is one of my favorite songwriters. And we were really able to bring this song to life. And it's a good one. I'm proud of it, obviously. And I'm just happy it's finally, you know, out there and in the ears of people who need to hear it.
Pour the coffee as you pour out your pain. Sometimes the tears fall down like rain. You bow your head and I just stay out of the way. What good are words when there ain't nothing I can say? 2 blocks from the hospital on Belcourt Avenue, vinyl seat becomes a wooden pew for an hour or 2. I take your order, bring your food. That's really all that I can do, except to smile and hope you see somebody care. I know you're heartbroken and bruised. Yeah, I'm not walking in your shoes. I can't listen if you feel you wanna share. Sometimes God uses a 3-day-a-week part-timer to remind you He can find you in a diner.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stories are like a lot of the songs you write, and you've done a fair bit of collab work, right? Which is really the nature of how songwriting goes these days, and especially out of Nashville, right? Do you find when you write with other people that, you know, they're on the same page, or does it dilute how you're feeling about it, or what do you reckon?
So it really depends on who you're writing with, and kind of the whole thing of Nashville is you kind of pick and choose, but in the beginning you want to write with everyone because you want to make sure you give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And then sometimes it can be hard when you have to kind of be like, thank you, I don't want to write with you anymore, but you don't really say it. You just kind of pretend that you don't write anymore. But it just like you find your people, and you find, you know, if you are writing with other artists, what are their strengths. And then I think I'm starting to kind of get into a good groove with certain artists and songwriters that we click, and our ideas, it can be my ideas, could be their ideas, we'll run with it. It just depends on how we're feeling. So most of the songs for Souvenirs of Love, I think I was in the process of being like, I'm kind of wanting to do a project. So here are some ideas I have about songs, and they could work, or someone else says, I have an idea and this is what I feel like writing today. What I do love about different writing partners and things is some people are really good at hooks. Some people are really good at ideas. Some people are really good at the guitar and the melody, and that's fun to kind of pick and choose who you're like, okay, I want to write with this person because we crushed it on that song, or I loved how we did this with this song. And that's, I think, also just Nashville in general. Co-writing is so fun, and Nashville is such a community that it's just really cool getting the opportunity to work with other people, like-minded people in Nashville, for sure.
Such a melting pot.
Yeah.
It is. It's and once again, you've got that too. So there's almost, well, it's multifaceted really, but most people think of Nashville as Broadway, and you're playing in the bars, but then there's just everything in the city is music. So you've got these writers' rounds, you've got all this sort of stuff happening. Alison, with something like in a diner, like you've got you attached to that, you've got emotion, you've got empathy for other people. How like I struggle when I'm doing a talk or a speech or something. If there's something I get emotional about, the bottom lip starts to quiver, and I've got to sort of stop and some people say I touch my nose when that's going on because
You gotta
that's the
tell.
thing that's the
tell.
thing that brings me
Sure.
back. How the hell do you sing a song that's got so much of you in it when you play it live?
Good question, Curly.
Nice
I-
work, Curly. Well done, Captain.
So it changes because I sang Big Apple Red, which is another really great song that is like hits you in the heartstrings. I sang it once, and it was like in the audience was a lot of people who were probably in their 70s or 80s, but like it just and it hit well.
Yeah.
Like they were crying. It was great, but as I was singing it, it hit me, and I made it through, but I was like, I can't cry right now. What is going on? No, I can't do this. And so it just, sometimes it will just happen and take over. But for the most part, I really can keep it together. And, but I do tell people before I sing Big Apple Red specifically that, and I guess I should now for In a Diner, but like, I preface, this is a sad song, but it's a beautiful song, but you might cry, and that's okay, but don't feel weird if you cry. And like so many people came up to me, after and were like telling me all their stories, and then I wanted to cry even more, but it just
that must feel good when you touch people like that, or from something that you've created.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of, the best part about it is knowing that the words are hitting, the lyrics are hitting, the music is hitting and in the right way. And it's music that needs to be heard. And not many songs are about all of that right now, I would say. So I'm really happy that I'm being able to release this type of music and not try to be like, which I mean, it could be mainstream, sure, but I enjoy what I write, and that's what I want to release, so it's really
you find your own niche.
But that's the powerful nature of the art, though, isn't it? Is that you write songs and it means something to you. It really does, and it means something to everyone who writes the song. But as we know, you can't encode meaning into a text, and how other people interpret the work when they get it. And that is the most that's the most heartwarming yet heartbreaking thing, is when people write to you about, they'll send you an email and say, I know you wrote this song, or I know that you wrote this, but this is how it affected me, or this is my story, and this means a lot to me. And like, if you can get that, like, what a gift you've got, Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, In a Diner and Big Upper Red, they're very much Allison Asarch song. I still hear your influences in some of the other songs, like Souvenirs of Love to me is a little bit of a hat off to Taylor, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely.
Like all too well. It's kind of got that vibe to it.
It does. I know. It really does. So much. Yeah.
But it's a great song. It's like it's the catchiest song on the album.
It is the catchiest song, and that's why I was also like, what, this has got to be the, it just
title
makes
track.
sense. So fun title track, and it's so catchy. And when we were writing, who would think like sipping out of old ceramic mugs would be a catchy line? Not me, but it is. And
that's good. Everybody does it.
Exactly.
Rossi's doing it now.
Right.
Oh
God.
Oh no.
The other one that really hits me, and I think it might be, maybe we'll get Curly on this one because I think it's one of his favorite, is Outlaw In-Laws.
Yeah, I love it.
Just before you talked about it, Curly, my favorite part of it is the overdriven bass in it.
It's so fun, and he had a blast playing that song. I will never not see Sam literally just jamming and crushing the bass line when we were in the studio. It was so fun. Yeah, this album, which was cool, different than Texas to Tennessee, we had a full band for everything. So how we recorded this album was I went into the studio with Aaron. We kind of picked our 13 songs, went through it all, and tracked it all, so he would know what players to hire. And then the next week for 3 days, we basically just did like 3-day intensives with the band. And we had the bassist, electric guitarist who also played pedal steel, the acoustic guitar, and then Aaron plays drums. And then the next week, we had another guy come in who plays with Miranda Lambert, which is really fun. His name's Ethan, and he played guitar and mandolin. So they kind of all. It was just so cool to be in the room and to see them hear it and then be like, let's go. And then make the song come to life, which was, the coolest thing ever. So
I'm a bit confused, Braggy. Aren't basses always overdriven?
In your world, they are, Rossi, yes. But not in the country world and the world that I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and it's not like your overdriven bass. It's kind of got that honky. It's like and maybe Curly and Alison mightn't know this song, but it's got that Maxwell Edison, Maxwell Silver Hammer. You know that sound?
Yeah. I do very well.
Yeah.
Crushed it. It's my part of my favorite part of the song is literally just the bass line for sure. Yeah.
It was interesting with that song, Braggy, but as you know, we got trusted enough to get a sneak peek of the album.
Yeah.
And I think Outlaw In-Laws is that when you've just left Nashville and you've been to a couple of the honky tonks, and there's certain songs that just get the crowd going. And I shared it with Alison. I said, "There's your honky tonk song." You got
Absolutely.
a Chicks vibe to it, or a Chicks vibe to it.
For sure. Yeah. And Crystal, who I wrote with, her songs, if y'all ever have a chance to listen to Crystal King's music, she is such a great writer and so funny and talented. And I was just really excited to bring that one to life. She had the idea and I was like, I love it. I love crazy families. I love yes, let's run with it and go. And it was just fun to kind of make fun of different types of family members and put names to things. And a lot of people can relate. And I think that's, again, why it's so funny. And
it is funny. Take it one swing at a time.
Didn't get any blowback on it. Didn't get any blowback. You didn't hit anyone personally?
Not yet.
Maybe they haven't listened. They haven't had a good enough listen yet.
Not yet. We'll find out. We'll see.
So I'm looking at Texas to Tennessee, and because I hadn't realized until you said it before, 13 songs. Why is it always 13 songs, Al? Why is that a number that sits in your head?
Because that is my little Taylor Swift Easter egg. Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13, and so I will always have 13 songs on my albums.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Did you know that, Braggy?
I knew 13 was a Taylor Swift thing, yes. But I hadn't put the two together yet. I didn't realize there was 13 on the other album of Allison's.
Yeah.
So 11's my number.
Yeah, we know
11's
that.
my number too.
I like 11.
Yeah. I like 11.
We've got to get Rail Motor backing Allison at somewhere, somehow. I don't know how we do that. Seeing that we've now got the 11 connection, so maybe the 11th month of
November.
Yeah.
Remembrance Day, that would be.
Well, the 11th day of the 11th month.
So we can remember.
My reasoning for 11 was because I think I wanted a different number when I was playing soccer in middle school, and they only had 11 left, and so I was like, okay, that's my fave number. Then.
That's it.
I just like it because there's 11 people on a cricket team.
But it is interesting because I was up at Agnes Water once when Braggy was doing another global tour of the area, and he was sharing this concept of 11, and we sit down at Cody's there near the beach, and we have a coffee and a bit of a pizza or something, and you look at the number that they gave us, and it was 11, right?
Yeah.
So you go, all of a sudden you started seeing it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's like okay,
let's talk about some songs that that I don't know what they're about.
Okay,
great. Bring it on.
What about the Big Dipper? If anyone in Australia, the Big Dipper is. We don't see it in Australia, do we? It's a northern hemisphere constellation.
It's
can't
not.
see it.
It used to be the Big Dipper. I used to have the Big Dipper on my finger. There were 2 dots, here, but that was the Big Dipper.
I think they call it the plough in England.
Huh?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
They call it the plough.
Like
Not a great name for a song, The Plough.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sing as well. Can you tell the difference between the plough and the moon? No. So I'm just interested in that lyric and what that's all about.
Yeah. So also wrote that with Crystal, and it was also kind of like a campfirey vibe, a song that you could sing around a campfire with a guitar. We felt like, and just like a little. It kind of gives like Taylor Swift Betty vibes, which is also very folky, but more. And I really liked how Aaron, like the production of it, I think it's really, really cool. I definitely feel like you're outside in a way and kind of in the stars, which is nice. But made that story up and just kind of was going off of a cute little love story thing of boy meets girl, loves boy, boy doesn't love girl, middle school crush type thing. And we just thought it was a cute little ditty. it made its way as a souvenir of love for that cute little couple.
Well, someone else will relate to that. Someone will go, she's singing about me on my thing.
Yeah.
What else? What about Better with Time? You got is that a cajon? Is that recorded out? The drummer sitting on a.
He used brushes a lot, so he potentially could have used a cajon, but I'm pretty sure if I can remember watching him, I'm pretty sure it was like different types of brushes and like ways. He just is such a great percussionist. He would just already like have different bells and things all over on his drum set. But Better with Time is because when I was I think I was it was after the Sing On came out. I was asked or was approached on Instagram that some big A&R rep, really wanted to work with me. And if I had to sign an NDA to look at these videos that he did and blah, blah, blah. But basically, long story short, they said, well, you'll have to spend $20,000 to work with him. And I said, I don't have that money. And no, so thank you. And the guy said, well, country female artists don't make it after 29. Yeah. And I was like, you are kidding me. We are 2020 something, that is so incorrect. And no, that is I can't believe you told me that. I cannot believe you said those words. But I said,
that's
okay.
Just pressure salesman.
Yeah. Literally, it's not true. We all know that. And so I brought this, idea of just how things do get better with time that we use daily all the time. And I turned 30 last year. I'll be 31 this year. And I don't plan on stopping music ever. So I know that my music, as I know now, it continues to get better with time. Wine gets better with time. Like cars and cowboy boots. All these things get better with time.
Songwriting.
Why are we in a world where...
Yeah.
So why are we in this world where people still want to say that women can only look like they are 20 and that is how old that they are? Like it's just not correct. So yeah.
When we all come to Nashville, tell us where that guy is and we'll go get him.
Okay.
He lives in Florida.
Yeah, of course he lives in Florida.
Yeah, we'll go there, don't worry.
Some scammers living in Florida.
Australian rugby league players coming to get him.
I've been to Florida. They're all soft down there, mate.
Funny you mentioned
and then
that,
years later, I got reached out to again, but it was by a female who was doing the same thing for this guy. But I like was kind of reading the signs or whatever, and she was like, "You don't have to pay anything." And I was like, "Thank you so much for this opportunity. However, this other person who still works at your company said this to me, so I do not want to work with that. So thank you." No, thank
principles. Braggy, interesting. You're talking about the Australian Rugby League. Let's go get them. James Keith on our last episode talked about his first time to Nashville was on a footy trip. So and
just imagine.
and Rossi and I, our imagination and our ideas just went wild. Could you imagine a bunch of Australian footballers going down Broadway? My God.
Oh God, I'd actually probably be embarrassing.
They probably on one of those little bikes with the lights and the mirror. The lights on the long bikes.
Those mobile, the bars.
The pedal wagons or whatever they are.
Yeah. Alison, something's got to give, right? Something's got to give. It's like a message that I'm guessing it's almost a message that anyone can resonate with. So where did that song come from?
So funny enough, that's from the vault, as people say. We wrote it in 2020, Andy Renfrey, me, and Logan Piercy. And it was gonna go on Texas to Tennessee, but we decided to choose The One instead of Something's Gotta Give, because they're kind of very similar-esque of songs of being like, it's something's gotta give, and only the power of one, and we went that route, but we loved that song. And it's kind of one of those things where you write so many excitingly new songs that you're like, well, let's see if maybe that'll fit on the next one. And when we were, going through it, all of the music, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I forgot we wrote this song. I loved this song. This was so great. And it's, again, one of those message type of songs that is so timeless that it rings true for anyone. And Radio Sobro, which is like a Nashville internet radio type place, they did a little spotlight on the album, which was so kind, and he chose Something's Gotta Give as one of the songs to like play, and was also feeling that same way of how it's a song that needs to be heard, and it's a great message for anyone.
And just the way the Something's Gotta Give lyrics come through, it's almost it could almost be a protest song, right? So that something's got to give, so just my take on it. So
for sure, got to give more take less, say no, say yes, absolutely.
Before, sorry, Kelly, you go.
And just the last little song that I'll talk about before I hand it back to Braggy is Stuck in My Head, because yes, it does get stuck in your head. So
I'm glad. That one is about meeting my husband, and so based on true stories. But my friend Hunter and I wrote that together, and the reason, which has been really cool with Hunter, is how Hunter writes is he's like, I have this really cool melody, like this lick or whatever. Let's write on it, and so it's a really challenge for me because then I'm like, all right, let's think. What do we think this could be? Like, how do I think we could? What comes? And then I don't even remember how it came out, but I guess I just started singing it, and then here we go. That's stuck in my head. But it's so fun. It's a good one. It's definitely super also catchy. One of the like 2 or 3 songs, that are like upbeat that I wanted to make sure I had, so it didn't seem like I was a depressed songwriter forever now. But
it comes at a good time, that one. Like, whoa.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
That's where we're talking about the importance of track listings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was, it's crazy with track listing. And I thought I had it right. And I sent it to Aaron, and he goes, that's a good start. this is what I know. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, darn
That's a
it.
good start. Damn.
Oh no, I really thought this was a good one. And then he was like, because I ended with Stuck in My Head at first, and I wanted to end with Track of Tears, but I didn't. I was like on the fence, and because technically I'm now going to be on a trend because I ended with Passed On, and now I'm ending Track of Tears, so I feel like I should just keep ending with family songs. But as you know, another little Easter egg thing, but it just so track listing is wild, and kind of being like, does that sound good after that? Is that good? Yeah, for sure.
Is that the journey I'm taking everyone on?
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Is that a good? Yes. Mm-hmm. Does that follow that one well? And this 100%.
Talking about track listing, right? So because we're in 2025, I mean, it's different. The track listing, it's just one whole thing. Whereas in 1985 or 75, you
split it in the middle.
Play because you've got two sides. Yeah, you got to bring down, leave people got to
make them want to turn over the record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think about it like that? Probably not. You probably just thought about it as one whole thing. Yeah.
Totally, just one whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping next year to make a vinyl, so we'll see what happens with what that ends up being. But
there is
I mean, I just love that because it's that little break. You go, wow, that first side was good, and then it finishes, and then you've got to get up, you've got to turn it over, you get yourself a cup of tea. Let's see how this all works out, how this ends up.
Or you sit there and go, shit, that was short. I wish it was a CD. Fuck.
Yeah. or like some of my albums at home where side 2 is just pristine because it's never been played. At the start, Alison, you talked about your grandparents. So I'm guessing Grand, and I'm guessing Love That Loves Me Too. Maybe a grandparent song. Tell us about your grandparents. They must have been a big influence on you.
Yeah. So I grew up with 6 grandparents. I was very lucky. So my and I have 5 still alive. And so my mom's parents both they got divorced and both remarried. And then my dad's parents have been together since they were 19 years old, or 11 years old, excuse me. And so I grew up being around my family all the time. I would go to my Nana and Popsy's house for Shabbat dinner every Friday night. Every Christmas, we would have like a big party thing at my Susan and Poppy's house, and we would have like a big talent show. And then after the talent show, we started doing like big numbers, and we would all sing. And then my Grandmere and Poppy, who Grandmere is part of Track of Tears, which she's been wanting me to write that song for so long. But we would always, when we would spend the night, we would be clean for the day. We would get McDonald's for breakfast and get to eat it in bed, and, you know, just little memories and stuff like that. I was allowed to cuss at her house, even though you know what I mean? Like she was like, you can cuss. Like I will never forget, you know, like being at the kitchen table and then like slowly like saying a cuss word or two. But like, you know, nothing, it was just, you know, one of those things that was so silly. And it's the best. It's the best.
It's the idyllic American in my head. I just straight out of a movie.
And they just are some of the most amazing people, and I've always learned so much from them, and they're still very, very much in my life today. And I'm just so lucky that now, even though I'm miles away, like I FaceTime all the time, I call, and you know, get to still talk to them and see them, even though I'm not where I was for 18 years of my life. But they you know, came to my college graduation, and they would come to my operas in college, and obviously for my wedding, and they come and visit when they can. I go home, visit when I can, and they're just a huge influence. And I know that whenever I get older, I want to be that to my grandkids eventually, way down the line. And just know that they mean so much to me, and family means so much to me, and it meant so much to them, and still does. So it's just, I'm lucky that I'm able to write about them and get to shine light on them. Yeah. So Grand is 100% about all of my grandparents. And then Love That Loves Me Too. Yes. The beginning is literally my grandparents. They celebrated 60 years in August, I think 2 years ago now, or 3 years ago now,
Wow.
which is just, amazing. And then Track of Tears is my Grandmere song. So that story is because literally my youngest sister, Katie, got into private school, and my mom called her on her car phone, and she was at the Track of Tears is what she calls it, because she was crying. And so every time she passes it, she thinks of that. But then, of course, I added in when I got engaged. But so I had to add me in there. But still, it came out so beautiful, and I'm proud of that one too. He played Track of Tears with Radio Sober, which was really nice. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of exposure to songwriters and singers in particular, and they do, with all due respect, but a lot of them do have to end up making it all about them in the end.
I had to include myself. I was like, we can't just write about this one thing.
It's an Allison Asarch album.
You write about what you know,
Album.
and you know yourself better than anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only fair. It's only fair. It's only fair.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the strategy of the album. We talked about that when you were first on this year, and you released Better With Time as a single. The next month went Souvenirs of Love as the single. The next month was Big Apple Red as the single. And then on Anzac Day, which is April 25th here in Australia, you released the album. So how did you find that strategy, and has it worked as you intended?
If I had more money, it would probably work a little bit better. But for not having money and for doing most of the prep work, mostly it went well. Content wise, I wish I did more, but you can always say you wish you did more, always. But I knew that, quote unquote, what they call it is waterfalling effect is the best way to kind of start to get your songs out there. But technically people don't just do 3 songs, they do like their entire album, and then they're like, here it is. And you're like, wait, you just released all that music. Why are you now putting it out as an album, but you already, sing, whatever. So I knew I wanted to kind of slowly release, but I didn't want to do every single song, because I enjoy the fact that I have that opportunity to be like, I want to do it like this, because I'm not getting paid by someone else to tell me what to do. So I only wanted to do a few songs and then hit everybody with the rest of the music. So Better With Time, I wanted to be first because, like I've talked about, it meant so much to me. And I knew that I turned 30 and I wanted that to be like, okay, this is the anthem. This is the kind of outlook of the whole thing. Souvenirs of Love, because it was February and I wanted to do like a love song in February. And I was looking at my catalog of the 13 songs saying, I cannot only release slow songs. I need to probably release something a little upbeat so people are a little excited. And it is a very, catchy breakup song, very Taylor-esque, and people do enjoy it, which is great. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. And then at this point too, I did not have Souvenirs of Love as the album name. I honestly took a long time to be like, I really don't know what I want this album to be named. And then it just kind of worked out in my favor. And then Big Apple Red is one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. And I felt like it just needed to have a little moment for itself. So I was like, okay, that will be the third single. And then when we released the album for PR stuff. We kind of released In a Diner kind of as like that month of song, I guess you would say. So I heard from a few people, or from a few, I was in a few playlists with In a Diner in the month of April, but that was kind of my mindset. And then also, which I haven't done a really good job about, but what I want to do is every month kind of talk about a song. So since there are 13 songs and we're now 4 in, just to make sure that the album kind of lives on for a year, I'm going to try to focus on a song every month. And which, I'm now speaking to existence, so I need to do it. But it's just more, for content, and also to make sure people listen to the songs, and just kind of have another way to make sure that I'm still talking about the music, because that's a whole thing, as people, will say like, okay, you released an album, great. And that's
done.
it,
Next.
So,
called ahead, but she was just a walk-in. I picked a color, but she knew what she was getting. She took her seat, the same one she always did. Right behind her, a daughter with her walker grabbed the bag she left up at the counter. Mom, I got your purse and your glasses. In the time it took my nails to dry, I heard her ask the same questions at least a couple times. She still shows up, she looks her best, the rings, the hair, her favorite dress. But she knows something's wrong, she can't quite put her finger on. Forgotten keys, forgotten names, turned into friends and lunch, and everything as memories slip away, one moment at a time. She might not remember, but I know I won't forget, and I'll think of her every time I get Big Apple Red.
yes, yeah.
Got to say that the numbers, like for an independent artist with very limited budget, which is what you are, which is like you're working, the numbers are pretty good. Like 10,000 plays in a bit over a month. It's pretty impressive, really. It's hard to get that sort of traction. Like I see so many albums were sitting there under 1,000. Now, Crowded House, who became one of the world's biggest bands, Don't Dream It's Over. That album did nothing until that single came out. That was the 4th single on that album.
Wow.
The first 3 singles did nothing. Don't Dream It Over, which Tim Pierce played on as well.
I mean, that's
massive.
one of my Nice favorite songs.
Yeah, that's an incredible song.
But the whole album sat around for a year before it and did nothing until it got to the 4th single.
That's
wow, there
crazy.
you go.
And you look at something like Throw Your Arms Around Me by Hunters and Collectors. That was, I think there was 4 separate releases of that song because they knew it was a classic, and they just had to find the formula.
Right.
So how many songs of the 13 for the next album have you got written? Because I know the creativity doesn't stop.
No. I think probably at least 5 are done.
Wow.
Does that mean that those are the ones on the album?
No, fair enough.
But at least 5 for now. So
I don't think
always
that
writing, which is good. Yeah.
Braggy, I don't think that qualifies as your exclusive yet, mate.
No. Well, Alison might have some more things to write about in 6 months or so. So
no, you just got to just go through your list of questions to try and find the exclusive, like the breaking news for it.
Right.
There's no breaking news.
Alison,
you never know.
So I'm going to change tack a little bit. You talked about some of the goals that you'd set for yourself this year in our earlier episode in 2025. And one of them was about ticketed shows. And so how are you going with that? And what have you done?
I am looking into doing one this summer, so I just need to book the venue. I am very, very busy, so I am trying to set a date for it. It's either going to be in July or August, but I still just have to kind of choose a date when I want to do it. Could be in September, but we'll see. And I know that will be a ticketed event. So yes, there will be at least one coming up. And if not, then 2026 for sure we'll have some as well. But yeah.
That's
It'll be
awesome.
called An Evening with Allison Asarch.
Oh,
An evening.
that sounds
That's
fun.
very
Yeah.
classy.
That is very fun.
Candles on the stage, you know.
Yeah.
Nice, like little,
intimate.
little like acoustic vibe type thing. Very nice. Yeah.
Nice little band, just a little band.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 3-piece or something. Yeah.
And what's the weather like? How does Nashville go in? Like, I'm presuming you're moving into the summer months.
Baseball season.
So what's the weather like, and what happens in Nashville during the summer months? It's different from maybe the colder months.
Spring break.
We're about to hit CMA Fest, so that's always like the first week of June, and they shut down Broadway because every single bar has people playing, and then they have like 7 stages all over downtown that people are playing all day. People are playing in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Then Nissan Stadium every night is like the big people play that. And it's a really fun weekend. And most of it, other than the Nissan event, is free. So you can literally walk all around and like get to meet their meet and greets with artists and things. And that's really fun. And it's getting hot right now. It's about I don't know, are y'all are different than us. We're not
Opposite.
we're Fahrenheit. Y'all
You
Celsius.
talk in Fahrenheit.
We can do it.
Right.
We're bilingual.
Yeah, so like 80 degrees will probably be in a few weeks. Right now it's about 70, which is like great.
Nice.
But I'm from Texas, so like 90s is I love it. I'm into it. But it's very hot, very warm. But the summer, everybody and their mother comes to Nashville for sure for like bachelorettes and stuff. And so there's always something to do in Nashville. Specifically this summer, like Dolly Parton's musical, she's decided to premiere it here before going to New York Broadway.
Oh, wow.
So it's around my birthday, so we already have tickets. I'm so excited. So that's what's going on. And they have a few places where it's more of a local thing, but they'll have like nights, drive-in movie type style things in parks. They'll just have movies playing, which is really fun. And like I said, my birthday's in the summer. It's my favorite time of year. I love the summer. So it's a fun time to be in Nashville for sure. I mean, there's always something going on, but there's like really always something going on in the summer. But it's pretty cool.
It's on Nashville on steroids, maybe. So
yeah.
We've got a couple of favorites on the podcast. Of course, you're one of them, Alison. But one of our other favorites, Brittany Elise, is now left our shores and is now pulled up stumps in Nashville. So she's another one that's on the train to make something happen. And she's
great! I need to meet her.
Yeah, Aussie American collab. That'd be good.
Yeah. And all you have to do is say to her, shout out to the boys, and she will know what you are talking about.
Okay, great. I'll literally message her right now.
She is so far the only person that's ever done the Golden Guitars red carpet with the shout out to the boys. And
that's
we
why
love
she's
her
our
for it.
real favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, but Tyler Rodriguez is playing one of the Discovery stages, Braggy and Rossi.
Amazing.
At CMA Fest, so that will be.
My good mate Mel Dyer's moved over there too. Melanie Dyer. She's done very well over here. She used to play CMC Rocks and all that sort of stuff. She's the same sort of femme fresh country,
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so Aussies are coming to Nashville. It's really awesome, and they're getting a pretty positive response as well.
I think the government will stop that soon.
Yeah,
No.
well, you can't study there anymore. But anyway, so we won't get on to politics. Braggy,
we don't go into.
any other questions before we start the wind down?
I have no other questions really. I was just thinking before when we were talking about the album listing, and I know I always go on about that. What do you think about this, Rossi?
Yeah.
What about you release like one side first, like A,
Yeah.
and then let people absorb that, and then a few months later you put out side B.
But that could work.
Is that going to work?
That could work.
It's just an idea.
No one's done it. Why not?
No,
I do like the idea of a song a month though. That's really interesting. Yeah,
that is
interesting. You can almost do a WordPress blog around that.
Sure. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I've got no other questions. I'm just glad that Alison goes for Queensland and not New South Wales in the state of Origin.
Yeah.
Well, Nashville and Queensland do have a lot in common.
A lot of talented people.
Yeah,
all the talented people.
More so Tennessee more so than Nashville.
Well, you know what else, Alison? There's a town in Queensland called Texas as well. So
yeah.
Oh, amazing. Love it.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you been to Texas, Braggy?
No, never been to Texas. They won't let me into America.
Alison, it has been awesome once again just catching up with you. So, which is your favorite social media platform to get people to go check it out?
Yeah, please go to Instagram at Allison Asarch Official or on Facebook at Allison Asarch Official. And then my website is just AllisonAsarch.com. You can become an Alley Cat and get on my newsletter.
Oh, that's good.
And your email.
Alley Cat, that's good.
Alley Cats.
Yeah,
How are the Alley Cats? Are they a good crew?
They're a good crew, yes. We've got some interesting ones. I love it.
I could imagine. So once again, go check out Allison Asarch. Her links will be in our show notes, of course, and we will make sure that we add even more of her music into our Unfiltered, Undiscovered playlist, as well as our Fresh Femme Country playlist as well on Spotify. So guys, this episode will actually come out after we know the results of the state of origin. So commiserations, Rossi. So
yeah, thanks guys. I knew you guys would get us in the end. It was really close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always that last minute try, isn't it? So
when you guys just keep on going to do it, we give up, we think we've got it, and you beat us. So that's how it goes. I know.
No, but best of luck on Wednesday night, Rossi. I know that you're looking at your side, and you probably don't need it, but anyway, Queensland.
Here we go.
Queensland's
I know what you're doing. I'm not going to fall for it.
If it's a record score for New South Wales, actually.
Ooh.
Like the Dolphins the other night. Like the Dolphins or even Parramatta last night.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Next week, I'm not sure what we've got, but I've got no doubt we will have I actually think we might have a Katie Brooke joining us. It's either Katie Brooke or a mystery song deep dive. So whichever way. Alison, once again, awesome catching up with you. And
thanks,
Rossi and Braggy, we will see you all and everyone else next week. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the ring. Welcome to the family. There's just a few things you should know. Uncle Joe is always late. Missy never brings the same date, but Grandma always calls him by her ex-husband's name. Don't worry, you'll be alright. Just take it one swig at a time. 'Cause Mama's got enough Jack in her purse to get you through the night. Come take your seat with the outlaw in-laws. You've married spit, and Cousin Mary steals the sweet and lows. They'll say your eggs are dry enough, that you need to hurry, hun, even though you got married just a month ago. Don't worry, you'll be alright. Just take it one swig at a time. Bring something to dish in a big box of red wine. Come take your seat with the outlaw in-laws. You've married and it's not your fault. Their roots run deep, but this ain't our family tree. It's our annual therapy. If they're too much, give us a call. We're the outlaw in-laws. Let's all play a drinking game. Raise 'em up if you feel the same. Took 2 hours to wash off Linda's lipstick stain. If the biscuits are burnt, the dog won't complain. Grandpa fell asleep at the table again.